What is up, guys? 10th Element here with our first video of the channel, where I'll be doing a bunch of sports videos and podcasts over the next couple years or so, hopefully. So my first video is going to be an NBA mock draft, where I'm going to go over the first 10 picks. So let's get started. The first pick, I believe, will be DeAndre Ayton out of the University of Arizona. For a man this size, who stands about 7 feet tall, he has the best, or one of the best, mid-range pull-up games in the entire draft out of any player. I think he's going to go to the Phoenix Suns, who definitely need a big man, because their best big man might just be Dragan Bender, who has been very up and down this past season. DeAndre Ayton comes in with 20 points, 11.6 rebounds average per game, and he shoots 61.2% from the field, not even including the 34.3% from three. He can do almost anything. Only one weakness I have is his defense, where he doesn't average too many blocks. The second overall pick goes to the Sacramento Kings, who I think will take Marvin Bagley III out of Duke University. He is a very athletic player who definitely has a high IQ for the game. He averaged about 21.1 points and 11 rebounds at Duke. He is definitely one of the most NBA-ready players in this entire draft, besides DeAndre Ayton, in my opinion. He did fantastic this entire year, and is definitely very long and good around the rim. He is a pretty good defender. He can definitely get better in that sense, but he's a very good scorer, and the Kings definitely need to score more points this past year. And the Kings have a couple good guards in De'Aaron Fox and Buddy Hield, and they definitely need a big man. Pick 3. Luka Doncic out of Slovenia. I think he's going to be one of the best players in this entire draft. Definitely has huge upside. He's only 19 years old and played in the EuroLeague these past couple of years, but he's been a pro since, I believe, the age of 14, which is quite incredible. He only averaged 14, 5, and 5 while over there, but he did only play 25 minutes a game. He's a 6'6" guard forward, and he can play just about anything from the 1 to the 3, possibly 4, depending on the team he's playing. Very good scorer, very high IQ as well for the game, and might be one of the best passers in this draft itself. And I guess we can see what he does. I think he's going to go to the Hawks. They definitely need a guard here. They don't need a big man, because I believe they just drafted John Collins last year, who I think will be a very good player. And Schroeder and Bazemore are both questionable for next year on staying on the team. So I think they really need a guard, and I think they're going to take Luka Doncic with the third pick. The fourth pick, in my opinion, will be Michael Porter Jr. out of the University of Missouri. We all knew that Porter was the #1 overall prospect going into this year, into college. Clearly, he got injured this past year. He had a back issue, which I believe happened in practice. I think he's going to go to the Memphis Grizzlies, because the Grizzlies do not have a solid big man besides Marc Gasol, and Porter can play the small forward or power forward position. He averaged only 10 points and about 7 rebounds a game, but he did only play in a couple of games, and I think he really needs to get better at his mid-range and 3-ball shooting. But he's a very good defender, a very good rebounder, and can definitely score the ball down low in the post and driving. So it'll be fun to see him play for the Grizzlies and see if they can change that program around. But I think he definitely needs to also get healthy, because you don't want to draft a player like this and then have him be a bust, as in like he gets injured like a Greg Oden or a Sam Bowie. With the 5th overall pick, I believe the Dallas Mavericks will take Mohamed Bamba. Mohamed Bamba comes into this draft with the biggest wingspan in draft combine history at 7 feet 10 inches. I don't think he has the best IQ for the game, but he's definitely a fantastic rebounder, where he averaged 10.5 rebounds. He's a good scorer, but doesn't shoot the ball as often as I would like to see him. He only averaged about 12.5 points, and he only had about 0.5 assists. I would like to see him be a better overall player instead of a two-way player in just scoring and rebounding. The 6th overall pick, I believe, will be Trae Young in the Orlando Magic. The Magic have good forwards in Aaron Gordon, Nikola Vucevic, and their best guard is Evan Fournier. And if you know anything about basketball, that's not really the best kind of option to have as a guard on an NBA roster. We all know Trae Young's a fantastic three-point shooter, can shoot really deep threes. He averaged about 27 points per game, and he did shoot 43% from the field, which is quite good for the shots he was taking. So I think he has to have a better shot IQ in the NBA. And he did also average about 9 assists. So I think he'll be very good at passing. He has a very good eye for open players on the court. The 7th overall pick, which belongs to the Chicago Bulls, I believe will be Jaren Jackson Jr. from Michigan State University. The Bulls have Lauri Markkanen, Chris Dunn, and Denzel Valentine as some of their best players, not including Zach LaVine. Jaren Jackson averaged about 11 points, 6 rebounds, and he's a very versatile player. He is a very good defender. I think he's a better defender than he is offensive player. Did not average that many points, but he did have a lot of defensive win shares. He can guard the opposing team's best player and still drop about 15 points, I would say, a game in the NBA if I had to predict something. He's very athletic and can definitely play above the rim. And I also believe he has a winning mentality when he goes into the games, and he also gets mad sometimes, which I think can be kind of dangerous, but I think it'll play out. The 8th overall pick, I think, will be Michael Bridges from Villanova. The Cavs really don't know what's going to happen this following year. I don't believe they're going to win the finals this season against the Warriors. I also do not believe that LeBron is going to stay on the team. They do not have a true small forward. I believe they still have Tristan Thompson and Kevin Love there as their 2 bigs. Michael Bridges is a very athletic 3, who I think can be their true small forward for the team. He averaged about 18 points, 5 rebounds, and is also one of the best defenders in this draft. I think his comparison would be in this league right now. Not the same as Kawhi Leonard, but he has the upside of a almost prime Kawhi Leonard player. He can get it done on both sides of the floor, which I think could help the Cavs a lot. The 9th pick will be Colin Sexton to the New York Knicks. This is one of the picks I'm most sure about because the Knicks always love the explosive and playmaking players that can really get the fans going, and I believe that Colin Sexton is that player. I also believe players like Trae Young, Bagley, but I don't think they're going to last toward this spot. But if they do, those are also players that I would think New York would select. Sexton is a good scorer. He averaged about 19 points a game, but only had 4 rebounds and 4 assists average. He's, as I said, very explosive. The Knicks have Cantor and Porzingis as their bigs. I think they really need a guard because their best guard might be Courtney Lee, and that kind of says something about the team right there. So I think if he gets his mid-range game better, he'll be a very good pick for him. The 10th pick, which I think is kind of up in question for the 76ers, because they don't need a big man, because they clearly have Joel Embiid, they have Saric, Covington, they got a bunch of forwards on the team who I think are decent. But I think they're going to select Wendell Carter Jr. here with the 10th overall pick, just because he's the next best available player in the NBA, or to join the NBA at this point. He played behind Marvin Bagley, which clearly was overshadowed, but he did average about 13.5 points and 9 rebounds, not to mention 2 blocks. Very good defender, pretty good scorer. I think he could be a good fit for the 76ers if he learns behind Joel Embiid and becomes a very good player behind him. But besides that, I think this pick could either go to Wendell Carter Jr. or Kevin Knox. Kevin Knox is also my player who I think will be not the best player in the draft, but he will be one of the steals of the draft. He's a very young player, 19 years old. He's a very good natural scorer. He averaged about 15.5 points, 5 rebounds, and a couple assists on the University of Kentucky, where they did not have one of their best teams this past season, but he was definitely the best player on the team. And usually a bunch of players come out of Kentucky, but this guy has a very good mid-range game. I think it's going to be a really good pick this upcoming season. Well, this is my first video, guys. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Bye.